Welcome, friends, to our summer time management tips. We are going to be working and playing this summer and making things the most that we absolutely can for our businesses. My name is Wendy Cannin. I'm an executive brand director with Tula 12. I have been working with Tula 12 for almost 4 years in September. And I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys some of my favorite summer tips and tricks. I am a time management expert for busy business moms, but if you're not a busy business mom and you're just a rock star business owner, then some of these tips are going to apply to you as well. So I have some quick slides to share with you as we walk through 9 tips that are going to help you rock your summer businesses and keep your time management on point. So welcome to Summer Time Management Tips with Wendy Cannin. That's me. Let's start with tip number 1, work from a list. I highly recommend that anytime that you are working on business strategies or business related tasks, that you work from a list. What I mean by this is that you need to spend time actually writing down things and putting them on paper. By creating a list, it keeps your distractions to a minimum, as well as keeps you from deviating from what you want to actually get accomplished. Many of you are probably moms and your kiddos are going to be home for the summer. You're going to be easily distracted by those littles running around. And so the easiest way to be able to keep track of those things that you actually need to get done is to writing them on paper. It helps calm the chaos. It helps alleviate that what if I don't get this task done mentality, because you will have written that task down and you won't forget it. Okay. And then writing things down helps to clear mental clutter. When we try to keep everything in our heads instead of writing it down on paper, we're going to find that we're not going to have space in our head to work through problems or to have creativity. And so when we are working from a list, that means that we have cleared that mental clutter. We've gotten the paper and the pen working for us, and we have that ability to work through those things in the order we need to. Step number 2, determine your priorities. I work through 3 specific types of priorities, and we're going to talk more about top 3 here in a minute, but they are top 3, routines, and creating action steps. Those 3 things working simultaneously throughout the course of the day are going to help you to find that you have structure and you have organization, and that's going to help you work through that list that you created in making sure that you complete all of your tasks and you don't leave anything undone. Again, we're going to talk more about each of these 3 things, but recognizing that there are 3 distinct ways to manage your time is going to help you to better understand what needs to be done in what time frame. Number 3, set a weekly goal. Okay, your goal needs to be at least 1 per week. If you can do more than that, then great. If not, please remember that you don't want to overcommit during the summer. The reason why you don't want to overcommit during the summer is because you want to save time for play and fun and being out in the sun and spending time with your kids, your spouse, your significant other, traveling, or whatever the case may be. So don't overcommit to things that you aren't quite sure you're going to be able to do. And then be realistic with your time. Many of us look at that list of things that we want to get accomplished and we're like, yes, we have all of this time because it's summer. And no, not really, because you're going to want to be out and playing. So be realistic about your time frames and what you want to be spending your time on. With each of those goals, we're going to be creating an action plan. We want the goals to be SMART, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Those still are pertinent during the summertime, so you want to make sure that you are giving yourself time to create a plan that showcases what you want to actually accomplish with your goal, and then execute. Now, goals during the summer, they do not actually have to be so high and mighty, and it could be so much as posting every day in your group for the week or scheduling time to batch graphics. These goals are ones that you can spend time to keep your business moving during the summer without feeling that overwhelm. Number 4, schedule your top 3. Don't just create an action plan, put it in your calendar and commit to completing it like you would if you were going on a date. Okay. So your top 3, schedule them in your calendar, whether you use a Google Calendar, whether you use a paper calendar, whether you have just things written down on a notebook. Put it in an actual schedule, just like an appointment or a date that you are going to be saving or keeping with a loved one, or maybe you're going on a lunch date with your friend. It's the same thing. Put that task in your calendar so that you can work through accomplishing that task. Number 5, develop a routine. Okay, if you have kiddos at home, and I know many of you might have kiddos at home, or you might be a grandparent that's watching your littles during the summer while their parents are working, you want to develop a routine. Work with your family to commit to a summer routine. So if you want to be able to work for a certain amount of time, then make sure that you share with them that routine that you would like to have. If you want to make sure that you're setting time for fun and for work, make sure that when you're doing your routine, you are scheduling time for those activities. I know for me and my son, we have my son being my youngest son. I have 2 older ones. They're kind of doing their own thing this summer, but I have a 7-year-old. We have scheduled time. We've gone through the activities for our city. We have scheduled time for pool. We have scheduled time for library and any other summer activities that we want to fit into the mix. Those things are already on our summer calendar. And I have managed to figure out a routine that's going to work for us with getting up times and breakfast and feeding and break times and work time, because I do work from home with my business. So I needed to make sure that I scheduled time for that as well. And then we worked together as a family to commit to times when I am going to have time to be able to work out with my business. So work with your family, set a time, and develop a routine. Number 6, create a scheduled work time. Okay. So I just went through, we set the schedule. I know when I'm going to be able to have time to work. So you need to ask yourself a couple of these questions. Do you work better in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening? Understanding when your best time frame is for you to be able to work will help you be able to commit to a schedule that's going to work with you and your family. When do you have the least amount of distractions? If you are a mom and you have kids at home, think about some different things that you could be doing for them for quiet activities. This means that you do need to do a little bit of prep work, but if you are friends with a UBAM consultant or somebody that does summer activities or programs, get with them and talk about some activities that they could be doing quietly on their own, even small children, that they can either sit next to you at your desk in your office and work quietly, or in their rooms if they are more independent. So be thinking about some different ways that you can create some least amount of distractions for them so that you can work and have them close at hand. And then when does your work time fit with your playtime? Again, looking at the activities that you have scheduled and that you want to be able to accomplish for the summer with maybe you have a summer bucket list. Be thinking about when your work time and your playtime will work together so that you can commit to having some work time as well. Number 7, structure that work time. I am a heavy believer in the Pomodoro technique. That means if you have 1 to 2 hours in your schedule, you're setting time when you can be batching and working out some very structured work time with no distractions. Some other things that you could do are participating with power hours. If you have an hour in the evening where you can work out 15 minutes of chunks of time with either graphic making or creating lists for you to be able to work through, or maybe touching base with your hostesses. Maybe you are scheduling parties. So make sure that you find a way to structure your time. And I highly recommend that having that list that you created in step number 1 and creating a structured work time is going to help you be most efficient with your time. We might have lists and we might pick and choose a couple of things that we have here and there, but if you are scheduling a time, you are working through a structured time list where you are busting through some time sensitive situations and you're scheduling time for breaks, those kinds of things, and then working through your list, you're going to find that you have the most success and are most efficient with your time. Number 8, set boundaries. Okay. I go through this actual slide right here with the classes that I teach on time management. And this is the number one thing that I really, really stress in creating a work environment for you and your family, especially if you're a stay at home mom or you are working a side business where you need to be able to set boundaries. So, number 8 is setting boundaries. Set expectations with your family. Okay. So, you can sit down with them when you're talking about your summer routine and when you want to play and having that structured time and not being able to have those distractions. You can set expectations with them, sit them down. This is the plan for the summer. Mom needs to sit down and work for this amount of time. That means that we need to have, excuse me, the children or spouse or pets is a little bit harder because they don't really understand boundaries, but you can excuse me, set those expectations that this is the time that I have set to work. I have scheduled time for play, but this right now is when I need to be able to work. And it's okay to say no, friends. It's okay to say no. If you have situations where you're being asked from outside volunteer situations or where you are being asked from a family member, maybe you have somebody that needs you to watch their kids for a specific time, you can say yes in certain situations. But if it's in your scheduled time, make sure that you're setting that boundary and you say, no, I absolutely cannot do it right now. That is my scheduled work time. It is no different than if you were going to a 9 to 5 job and you were spending time at work. You can't take your kids with you to work, and some situations allow you to, but that is the same situation. It is your work time. Be okay with saying no. And then don't take on more just because there's an opening in your schedule. If something happens where you have a cancellation or you don't have time to, or you have a downtime, it's okay for you to not fill that with extra stuff. And especially during the summer when you want to be spending time with your kids and you want to be playing, which leads us to number 9, which is schedule time for fun. It is summer, perfect time for you to get outside, to play, to have relaxing time with your family, with your kids. Go to the pool, go to the park, spend time outside learning about different things that can happen in your community. Go and see about summer programs, participate in them if you can. I know in our small town, we have summers in the park, movies in the park where you can go watch movies. We have summer activities. We can have the ability to ride on the city bus and going to trampoline park. Lots of different things that you can do for the summer. Check out those things that you can do and then utilize time to schedule fun for your business. I know there are many other things that we have learned along the way. If you're going to go on vacation, make sure that you schedule your blocks of events or parties or workshops before and after so that you can go and spend time with your family without being interrupted. Also, think about batching and scheduling your graphics. We have many opportunities to be able to utilize different graphics that you can schedule and have them all done for the month so they are done and out of the way. It takes time to think about batching and scheduling and being on top of that. But by doing those things, you are setting yourself up to be able to have some relaxing time during the summer to play with your families, friends, and just chill and be able to work your business at the same time. Thanks for hanging out with me for summer time management tips. I hope you all have a fantastic summer. You work and you play just as hard this summer. Bye, friends.